upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767 275 1899 or email us at info@pottersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Potter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects.
Yeah, good evening and welcome to your favorite sports program on the Thursday night. I think the whole crew is here. I'm Lockhart Sebastian.
Ron Lander.
Dr. Thompson Fontaine.
Emmanuel Low Black is there
And
as well.
Emmanuel Low Black.
Right. Good night. I thought you had gone missing, sir.
No, I've just come back in a while.
Okay. Good night. Everybody is here. And tonight we have a nice program. We're going to be talking about the character games. Hopefully we should have Mr. Addison James, the gold medalist, who should be first in line, as well as the coach, Godwin Dossett, and President Brendan Williams should be in studio with us. We're also going to be talking to some St. Lucians who were here doing a program with Dominica Swimmers. So they should join us at some point. And we will also be speaking to Liam, who will be talking to us about the league which starts tomorrow. Very late though. I mean, the 2-day league which starts tomorrow. I think it's sponsored by NCCU. So that's what the program we have. And also we have time to talk about the Indian Premier League. In fact, I saw a game today. I couldn't believe it. How a team could lose that game. I don't know if you all watched that game today. Kohli's team again. The guy did what? 20-something runs, 5 and they lost the game. You know, like I just couldn't believe that. Sometimes you wonder if they are match fixing or what in this Indian Premier League. And also the NBA playoffs have started. We can talk about that as well. Like I'm sure you guys watching that as well. Yeah. But guys, last week when we were here, we were speaking of Easter time. We all are Catholics. And on Monday, we were greeted with the news that the Pope has passed, guys. I mean, I'm sure as a Catholic, you all felt it. I mean, the Pope was a guy like an ordinary human being. And in fact, I just read a little thing what they said about the Pope. They said that millionaire Pope, ? When he died, Pope Francis had only $100 as his personal inheritance. He had no bank accounts, no properties, or investments to his name. Although he could earn 340,000 euros a year, he never accepted the salary of the Vatican as he made vows of poverty and lived with justice. George Bergoglio, Pope Francis, renounced the luxuries of the papal palace and chose to live in the simple Casa Santa Maria. All his expenses were covered, but his lifestyle was austere and consistent with what he preached. Hey guys, humble guy, eh?
Yes. That's powerful. That's good to know. And because so often, you have people preaching one thing and living the other. So it's good to see the consistency. And that's one of the things I think that he'll be remembered for. His support for the poor and he's he really gave a lot and focus to the poor and downtrodden of the world. And I thought that's one of his strongest things about him.
Lobby, you want to say something about the Pope, Lobby? Well, people around here wouldn't do that the Pope has done it. And you had the Pope tell it down, spread 40,000 euros, you would say it wrong. But Dr. Fontaine, probably a lot of people text me, as I spoke to you earlier on, about the meeting that was supposed to have been held tonight.
Yes.
So maybe you need to let people know that the meeting has been postponed, not cancelled, postponed.
Yes. So that's right. We've had to postpone the meeting for various reasons, but as you said, it's postponed, not cancelled. We'll announce another date when we'll have a meeting in Roseau, but the one scheduled for tonight is definitely off.
Yeah, so I hope everybody's listening. And next week, well, whenever the meeting is held, I guess they all will be there because it has been. We have a caller already. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. How you doing?
Very good. How are you, lady?
I'm doing fine. You enjoyed Easter?
Yeah, What about you?
I did enjoy my Easter. Yes, my Easter was good.
Right. Talk to us.
The Pope was he wasn't a man I believe in luxury, a very simple man. You see what his coffin? He told them he just wants a plain box coffin, a wooden coffin. And he doesn't want his coffin to be up there like all the others. He wants it down on the ground where he can live. His people can pass and see him. I see that. I say, wow, Mr. Riley was a humble man. He come in the world, he come there to do a job, and he did that job. You know something when I hear J.D. Vance, president of
the vice president,
telling the poor people praying for him every day. I said, son of a gun. J.D. Vance, no wonder the poor maybe when the poor heard that, he said, Lord, look at my cross. Satan, telling me they're praying for me every day.
Before you go, I read something where you it's alleged that you made a funny comment to the advance guy. You care to tell us what it was about, Blue?
Yes, I did tell it to the advance guy right in his face. I didn't go behind his back to
what is it did you say, Blue?
What?
What is it did you say to him?
Yes. What did he say to me?
What did you say to him? Not what he said. What did you say?
The exact thing you read. That's the exact thing I said. I'm blessed, gentlemen. My lawyer not on the program. Bye-bye.
We have more callers. Good night. Hello?
Yes, people, greetings.
Good night. How are you, man? Good night.
And the rest, London. Dr. Fountain with you, right?
Yes, of course.
Yes,
there.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, because I get big up, Doctor. I have a question for you. But see, the way the Pope lives is an example of when you dedicate yourself to serve people. You're not serving people for money. I don't know, no servant that does make millions of dollars and billions of dollars, Steve.
Well, I agree with you.
If you devoted yourself to the people, money shouldn't be your main focus. And why I ask if Dr. Fountain is there, today I got in a report from my hero, Lennox Linton, Honorable Lennox Linton, saying that some media company or so people get some information from Bank of America about the proceeding of the CBI program from MMC, which is the Arab man not controlling it. And he calling on them to release that information so we could get the details to know where the money go, who get what and who get what and who in charge and where the money pass. But I want to ask Dr. Fountain, if he as the political leader of the United Workers Party could write to these people officially asking them to release that information on behalf of the people of Dominica. Because people, I believe that is one of the issues I believe that would have bring down the cabal. When you have billions of your country money controlled by outsiders, foreigners, I find that I've got no issue bigger than that, Sibon. When Lennox Linton bring information out, people are criticizing him, saying, oh, we're talking about corruption. But it's affecting the people's daily lives. Nothing in the hospital when you get sick. Farmers road in trouble. Civil servant cannot get a raise. Lack of job, lack of employment. That is bread and butter issue, my brother. So again, I'm going to ask the good doctor if we're going to take it on behalf of the people to write to these people and tell them, please, if you have to go down on your knees and beg for it, cry for it.
So I guess he'll answer you.
Yeah, we need that information. Thank you, Sibo.
Okay. He's right there.
Yes, thank you very much, caller, for the suggestion. It's a great one because that's a matter of national and public interest. And I think we should all know who the people are that have received allegedly the funds that should have been in the treasury.
In fact, some of them, to use the local language, they're kakamazibuin. Next caller, good evening.
Hi, good evening to everybody.
Good evening, lady.
I know if the Pope had bank account, I would get something, but you can have nobody in Dominica that haven't got a bank account. The person that should not have more than everybody.
Who is that person? I don't know. No, you want to tell us?
No name, no warrant.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Next caller. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Sibo.
Hey,
Dr.
what's up?
Fontaine,
What's up, man?
Lobby, and Ronald. Sibo, I'm not a Roman Catholic.
All right.
But it is nice to know that someone practice what they preach. You know, and then that was very good of the Pope, and that was exemplary, you know, a down-to-earth man. And Sibo, let me give you a story about the Pope. When how they call it is coronation. They got coronated.
You mean when first time you was the Pope, you mean? The first time?
Yeah, when he became Pope. When he became Pope.
Go ahead.
I can't remember. Yes, I can't remember his nationality. But
I think he's from Argentina. I think that Pope was from Argentina.
Argentina, right, Argentina. And the press interviewed a lady who said when they were going to school, she was his girlfriend. And then he proposed to her and she turned him down. So when he got coronated, she said she's so happy that she turned him down because he would have never get to hold that position which he held at the time. You know, so yeah, so my condolences to all Roman Catholics. So he was a good man.
Yeah, he'll be buried on Saturday, right, guys? It's Saturday. He'll be buried on Saturday. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, Sibo. Good evening to everybody on the panel.
Yes, good evening.
In connection with the one before the last caller, that building as money disappearing, that building like Credit Union, Sibo. You know, vagrants, I'm taking over that building.
You serious?
It was you pass there as we speak, there are people sleeping on the downstairs beside facing Credit Union and they're like field green. There are people vagrants sleeping there. Yeah, man. So a lot we have to know about. You want information and you call her right, Mr. Thompson. You have to write on behalf of the people because there's the people that money that can do a lot better than what we're facing right now. Thank you.
You know, it's amazing, guys, that in a country you can have a huge building like that in the center of the city and nothing is going on there. Nobody is renting. People are scared to. I just find that amazing that something like that could happen. We have another caller. Good evening.
It's me again. The vagrants have 2 apartments. One at the front in Fields Lane and one facing the road.
Okay. Yeah, that's amazing. But you could have a building like that. But you know, guys, you two guys are the finance people. And I saw an article where they said the OECS leaders meeting in Antigua to safeguard investment. You are the finance people. What investment? Are there still investment they're trying to safeguard? Or which one? You are the finance guys.
Basically, the CIP program.
Right.
That's what they're trying to, because as you know now, a lot of focus is on we call it CBI in Antigua. It's called the CIP.
I think St. Lucia as well.
St. Lucia as well. A lot of focus has been placed now on those programs, and a lot of discussion around whether or not it should be continued, or whether or not countries like the United States, the European Union should take action. And you may recall that the European Union has decided that the Parliament will take this up as to whether or not they will issue a ban against countries that still have that program. We've also heard some threats coming from the U.S. administration. So they're now looking at it to see what they can do. But I suspect it's probably too late for that, though, because the program has been so compromised in terms of the number of persons who have received that thing. In fact, the latest now is that a number of Chinese spies have accessed that program, gotten new identities in people's countries and so on. So, you know, the whole security around this has been so severely compromised. I don't even know it can be salvaged at this point. But that's what they were trying to discuss in a couple of days ago. But we'll see. I think at the end of the day, if the European Union acts as they expected to, it will spell the end of that program.
Yeah, I think this CBI program has been mismanaged, and a meeting of this nature should have taken place long time. When the UWP came into power, I just returned to Dominica with my master's program. And the first assignment I was given by Julius Timothy, good night, Mr. Timothy, was to re-engineer, I gave it that name, to re-engineer the economic citizenship program. And I did extensive research on the program, and we came up with a system to assist us in making optimal use of the program. When the government changed, they pulled out for a while, then they came back in, and the program has gone astray. I volunteered because of my knowledge and my experience to contribute. And I was never accepted. I was never given the opportunity. And I've seen that program just deteriorate over a period of time. Montreal management has taken that program and has done whatever it wants with it. And consequently, you find countries, the European Union, the United States, and other countries are very concerned about persons who have our passports. And now they're having that salvage meeting. A meeting of that nature should have been held a number of years ago to see how we could coordinate and get that program properly managed.
As you guys said, probably too late now. I don't know how they're going to
I
safeguard
think
that.
it's going to be almost impossible to really salvage the program as it were.
Yeah. We have another caller. Good evening.
A question to anyone of all this. When last have you visited Trafalgar going up to Loda in that area there?
A while now. Well, any one of you?
There's a stone the map of Trafalgar almost in the road.
Which section? Which area actually?
I don't know the part properly, but when you're going up to how you call it, like Papillon, going up towards that area there, man, one big stone, and we say we into tourism. So long that stone, I hear people talk about that stone there. The stone, anytime it have a lot of rain maybe and plenty traffic passing, the stone can eventually just roll down because it's that big, a humongous stone. And other pieces by it waiting to just come down at any time. I mean, blast the stone, do something with the tourists passing there, taking pictures of that like a monument in the street. That's nonsense. What happened to tourists in that place? And that thing, that cable cat thing running there. That looking like a disaster waiting to happen. Because the people that going up, the tourists, questioning some of the tour guides about that, asking if the people are not seeing the dangers in that. I don't know, whoever may go to make their money might make their money, and I'm risking people's life in that. Have a blessed night. Bye-bye.
But it's strange because tourists were passing there for the last few months. I mean, the tourists is coming to.
But it's amazing how they've neglected the whole area, the whole Roseau Valley area, where you have, thousands of tourists during the cruise ship season go up there. And the roads are in a deplorable condition, not only in Trafalgar, but in Watson Haven and elsewhere in that.
But a number of roads now are industrial. In fact, when you drive on the West Coast now, you see in Macush, in Salisbury, in St. Joseph, man, all over the place is the problem. Be yours as well. Good evening. Hello? Hello? Don't listen to your radio. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Sibo. Great show. I have a question for you. I haven't heard anything from the leader of the Olympic Committee. Do you ever invite him to on your show?
Well, we really have. I mean, we invite mostly the different sporting bodies. That's what we normally do. We really haven't invited the Olympic people to really come.
Well, I think you should invite Mr. Doctor. We need to hear from him for himself. Why is he abstaining from the show? We need to hear from him.
Okay, no problem.
We need from everybody else, every committee. He needs to come and talk to the people.
Okay.
Why being shy, Bill, if you hear my voice? We need to hear you.
Okay, no problem.
All right,
no problem.
And he's also the chairman of the Sports Council too, so I think it's opportune to get him in. Before, I used to travel around Dominica and enjoy traveling around Dominica. You see acres of different products, acres of bananas, acres of coconuts, acres of cocoa. And it used to be so enjoyable driving around Dominica. The roads were motorable. But today, when you travel around Dominica, the roads are bad and all you see is bush. Bush. If you don't know, you come on a tour and you don't know, you enjoy the greenery. But the beauty that used to be there before is no longer there. And with the Trafalgar problem, the main problem with Trafalgar is the lack of a development plan for Dominica. The amount of things taking place in Trafalgar, that's a central attraction for tourism, and you want to do geothermal there. So you compromise in the area, and other things are happening in that area to compromise the area. But if we had an integrated development plan, we'd be clear on what should be done in the valley, in Trafalgar area. And that geothermal project could have gone elsewhere, maybe in Soufrière or elsewhere in Dominica. But to have that geothermal project in your central attractive area for tourism is compromising the area.
Yeah, I think we have another caller. Bonsoir, good evening. Good evening. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
I don't know much. Is it not the same road that the Minister of Finance passes to go up there?
Well, he actually lives in Mount Prosper, really. He doesn't pass that side. I think he...
No,
hold on.
Can tell him.
No, he lives in Mount Prosper, not Trafalgar. That's where he lives. So you don't really pass that area. Yeah. But you know, look, some people are sending pictures of the building, the house up. They said that the migrants have taken over.
Okay.
Yeah, pictures of the house of Black Secrets. Yeah,
now we transformed into a hotel.
Because apparently the guys, you know, there's a building on the other side, Mr. Burton building. So apparently they have been sold maybe to one of those people. We don't know. So the guys now have moved across. So we're getting pictures now where they have taken over that building on the house of that secret. But like I say, it's amazing that in the center of a city that can happen. Good evening. Hello?
Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, everybody.
The whole crew.
Yes.
Well, can you all hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Yeah.
In the 1970s, the same thing happened in Trafalgar. You see that big stone blue talking about that in the road?
Mm-hmm.
A massive stone rolled down in the road the same way. There's a family who had just passed there. Like 2 minutes before the stone rolled down. They were spared.
Okay.
But that massive stone had rolled down and it was taken care of. It was removed eventually. Not right away, but eventually it was removed. Look at when this happened, that Blue talking about. It's been months.
Yeah, I know.
Paul Rep is from Trafalgar.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, maybe Fokani, really?
The authorities cannot see it fit to remove that massive stone in the road like we did years ago when it happened. So things used to happen properly before, but there's no rhyme or reason to anything right now. And that's what we're talking about.
Thank you.
No governance, nothing for the people. The people of the valley have been suffering for years and they continue to suffer.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
you.
Indeed.
You live in that area, ma'am? She's gone.
Hello?
You live in that area?
I was raised partially in that area.
Okay.
I know a lot about that area. I watched that hurricane. I watched that landslide come down one Saturday with my 2 eyes.
Okay.
Yes, and Sibo, next month, next month in May, we're having this big CBI cases opening up as well.
Wow. I mean, very interesting.
It's very interesting if all the scrutiny that is being placed on the CBI program, the government has to account.
In fact, you see what's happening in Antigua now.
Yes.
We've got some
brown. Extreme problem. All his assets have been revealed.
Yeah.
Allegedly $700 million.
Well, he has plenty assets. Plenty loaded. He probably is overloaded. He has too many assets.
Leaders, huh?
Too many. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Good evening.
I just want to agree with the caller who spoke about Trafalgar and the Roseau Valley. I think about 6 weeks ago, I visited the Trafalgar Falls, and then I went across to Wharton Waven. And the state of the road, I made a statement to a vendor who I gave a drop and told her, how on earth can they have the Roseau Valley Road in such a deplorable condition? The Roseau Valley is not getting its fair share of the Dominican tourism pie. The amount of revenue that is generated because of the activities in the valley. And the tourist season is on, and there are big
holes between Trafalgar and Watson Raven. And the vendor is defending it just because she's a liberal. Oh, they fix it. I told her if they fix it, they didn't do a good job. Somebody ate the money. And that is the type of ignorance we have in this country. Your livelihood is affected. I could say, well, I'm not coming back in the valley again when I ask people because of the road condition. And she's defending it. My God.
Yeah.
You know, Sibo, it's really amazing when you think of this government. Government that allows rubbish to go uncollected.
Wow.
If you can collect your rubbish as a government,
I know, man.
You are a rubbish government.
Oh, you're right. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello, Sibo. Good evening.
By the way, you still dancing? You still dancing? You stop dancing?
I said I love to
Yeah,
dance.
I know you're dancing all day. You're dancing to Zouk music, right? Okay,
Sibo,
make your
let me tell you
point.
something.
Yeah,
Let
go
me
ahead.
tell you something.
Uh-huh.
Remember last thing I said to you that some of us have turned our backs on God.
Right.
But the first thing I wanted to tell you, Sibo, is I want to make a suggestion. Before we start the program,
Mhm.
you could say a little prayer. Either
Okay.
in song, you can sing a spiritual song, or
Okay.
somebody can there to say a short prayer, okay?
Okay, no
Because
problem.
right
That's a
now,
good suggestion. Good suggestion. Yeah.
Sibo,
Mhm.
right now, I've come to conclusion that the wickedness, all the mischievous things, the envy, the jealousy that's happening, as I say, some of us have turned our backs on God. Sibo,
Mhm.
I'm believing now, I've concluded now, that all what we have done, that is what is happening to Dominica right now. Dominica is back to front, you know how it is already.
Yeah.
Sibo,
Mhm.
you all have I'm older than you all.
Mhm.
We have never seen Dominica like turn like that, Sibo.
Wow.
We have never seen that. I mean, we had all little problems, you understand, Sibo?
Mhm. Mhm.
Nobody perfect, we had all this. But Sibo, I've come to that conclusion. We have to begin to, while we're working, we have to keep praying, Sibo, to ask God to forgive us for what we have done, for Dominica to try to come back at least as it was, because Sibo, something not right. Good evening.
We'll take your suggestion, and as she said, gentlemen, we'll probably start with a nice little gospel prayer or something. Good suggestion. Very good suggestion. Because as she said, Dominica is just in a poor state.
Yeah,
badly
our
governed.
economy is in a very poor state. And I hope Dr. Fountain on this program or Mr. G on this program can have a program on economic analysis of Dominica, looking at the productive sector, looking at the distributive sector. And I understand the Chinese are going to put down a distribution operation in Dominica. After they've taken over all the commercial activities, they're still going to put down a distribution center. And with a contracting economy, one of the only banks that we have in Dominica is expanding. It's very interesting. We need to look at that. We need to also understand the contributions that are being made to Social Security by foreigners working in Dominica. Because I heard on the radio some time ago, the persons who working on the apartments and the health centers, the Chinese, did not pay any Social Security. So I'm wondering if the people at the airport now, the Chinese at the airport, are contributing to Social Security, because Social Security is a legal Ponzi scheme. What I am collecting from Social Security is independent on what people are contributing. What people got many years ago was dependent on what I was putting in. And that's how it operates. So we need to look at that very critically.
Right. And on that note, we'll take our first break. And then when we come, we have our guests who will join us. So we'll take our first break now. Yeah.
Where in Roseau, Kima Hadis, you can just walk in and order all your chicken parts, wholesale, and even enjoy retail. It's at AC Shillingford, all chicken parts available that you can afford fresh breast. And you know breast is best. Shillingford wings have muscle. After you eat it, you can fly. As for Shillingford chicken drumsticks, even swinging stars just order drumsticks from Shillingford. And for those of you who love Risapul, AC Shillingford keeps your belly full. Buy your chicken wholesale at AC Shillingford. From wings to thighs to drums to breasts to backs to necks. It's available. It's always available, and it's affordable. Plus, you've got pork feet, ham and turkey, bull foot, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, all those right seasonings to make your kitchen keep on ticking. Buy your wholesale chicken at AC Shillingford. When you think of chicken, think of AC Shillingford. Always ready.
When you want the best, what you do? Shop at SCS. Better than the rest. Go shop at SCS. And they often wear shop at SCS. You get more for what they say. Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Yeah, shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. What they say. Shop at SCS. Yes, family, customer friendly. With free locations, it's so convenient. And our price is there. Madam, that's where you belong. Oh, tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at SCS. Tell your son and your daughter, shop at SCS. Auntie, nan, and cousin, friend, open power, all of them. Grandma, grandpa, couple, neighbor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side, what? Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Check us out at Pottersville, High Street, and downtown Rose. Looking for a quiet, relaxing place to stay? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Have business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@pottersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Potter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects. The New India Insurance Company has reopened its doors in Portsmouth, offering the same great services you get in Roseau. Motor vehicle insurance, home and business owners, fire and related perils, public liability, and so much more. Come, visit us today for insurance with a personal touch on Bay Street, Portsmouth, or call us at 445-4023. We are ready to serve you. Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property, you homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till you flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season. Insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
Wow. Okay, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and as you know, Carifta has just been completed. And Dominica won the first gold medal. It's gold medal, Addison James. In fact, he was supposed to be on with us, but he's in the States now with his school. They are the pen relays. The school is taking part. So he will be unable to join us, but we have with us the president, Mr. Brendan Williams, and Coach Godwin Dossett. Good night, gentlemen.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Sebastian and the rest of the panel.
Godwin?
Yes, good evening to you all of you and the listening public. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Guys, let's get straight to it. I'm sure you all were elated when Addison James won the first gold medal. I'm sure you are. In fact, I heard him speaking, and he seemed to. Well, what he said is that he was always confident he was going to win, and that is real confidence because he said he knew he was going to win. So I don't know if both of you all want to comment on that.
Yeah, I'll allow Mr. Dorset to go first.
Okay.
As coach.
Okay, well, yes, what he said is true. Because what is happening that he had an opportunity to view the results of the other competitors over the season, and going into there, his real competition was coming from Jamaica itself, who he was confident was not a better javelin thrower than himself. So there was reason for him to say that he was confident. Really, when I look at him after 1 year, well, not a whole year, but a few months of training, I see a good transformation in him in terms of strength. Although there are still things to work on his technique, but it's not bad. And what I saw in our warm up on the Friday from him, I was also very, very confident that he was going to be triumphant in that. And he is a positive person. He loves competition. He strives to compete, and all of it was exposed there. So there was nothing we put in any doubt in our mind.
Well, Prezi, I'm sure you were, as the president, you would have obviously been very happy that he would have won that, eh?
Yeah. Just slight correction. It's not our first goal, but our.
Sorry, the first goal this year.
Yeah,
this
at the Carriff game.
Right.
But yeah, Addison was fully confident, and he had, revenge on his mind, because the competitor who beat him at Champs was actually gentleman that came second at Carriff. And for Addison, he felt that the gentleman got a lucky throw at Champs because the wind was behind him when he threw the javelin. So he had that mindset. But Addison's goal was not only winning in Carriff, so he was a little bit disappointed from the conversations because he wanted to go close to the Carriff record. So that is something he has gone in for. But on his first throw, he threw his personal best. So that shows a lot. And as Mr. Dorset said, in terms of transformation within the past few months that he has gone to Jamaica, you could see it in his physique and also mindset. Addison is somebody I could also consider my son because I speak to Addison every single day under the sun. So we have conversations, especially because of the transition from leaving Dominica to go to Jamaica, have that support, to speak to him about, someone that have gone through it. So yeah, he's just an exceptional athlete, and he's demonstrating that. And I must commend, I've said it several times, I must commend Mr. Dorset for the work that he did with Addison before going to Jamaica. Because we actually seen the fruits of Mr. Dorset's work before that, and we'll continue to see that and continue to recognize Mr. Dorset for that.
Dr. Fangley, you want to give the callers the numbers so that obviously they want to interact with the gentlemen?
Yes, sure. 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, and of course on the overseas line 305-432-9624.
Yeah, well, tell us about the other participants. Obviously,
just 1 minute, Sibo, before you go there, someone asked you a question about Addison James. He did 67.48.
Yes.
That's his best possible time to date.
That is his personal best, yes.
To date,
yes.
All right.
Which is also a national record, senior record, a national junior record.
What's the character record?
The character record is 79 or something like that. Or 79 or 76.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, but you
mean for under 17?
Under 20.
Under 20.
But he flew at under 17 or under 19?
Under 20.
Under 20, oh, okay.
So, but his coach and even Mr. Dorset knows, states that Addison can throw over 70 meters, but it's just to get things in alignment. And if he had that competition, maybe it would push him. But from the first throw, Addison won the competition by about 8 meters.
Mm-hmm. I think that was a very good trade-off, asking him not to get involved in the discus and focus on the javelin, because look at the results.
So
he got a gold, But what my main question to you and Mr. Dorset, what's the level of coordination between the technical authorities in Dominica and the technical authorities in Edward Island?
So I can speak on that because I speak to his coach very regular as to, even when he was in Penrith, coach sending pictures, sending his program. So it was a recommendation from his coach in Jamaica not to allow him to throw the discus, even though he qualified for the event. Let him focus on his, his bread and butter. Because they see Addison and even Carell, because the same decision was made for Carell as well. They see them as, yes, I qualified in one event, but I come to compete in that event. So there's a difference between participating and actually competing. So that's the mindset.
Very good.
Well, I'm sure, I'd like to say you want to talk about Carell and the other participants. You want to tell us what they did and if any one of them won any medals. So I'm sure the people out there want to know.
So as it relates to the rest of the team, I must say the team performed commendably. We no longer go to these events just to be a number. We go there to compete. So though Carell didn't make it to the finals, she was actually one place out of the finals. She ran 11.76 seconds to come 9th overall, 3rd in her heat. It is, from what we noticed, it is almost a mental thing because the other girls were older than my Carell by almost 2 to 3 years because Carell is just 16 years. It's unfortunate based on World Athletics rule. If you're getting 17 in the year, you'd have to go under 20. So she's getting 17 later this year, which is long after the competition. But however, she has to run with the older girls. And she was faced against Miss Dockery from Jamaica, who has a personal best of 11.08. That's what you call big people time. But however, the coach, Mr. Dyke, the head coach of Edwin Allen, said, do not be despondent. Her time is coming. The talent that she has is something that, we will see in the years to come. As it relates to Jariah Lewis, who was one of another top performer of ours, he came ranked into the competition 13th out of 22. And he ended the competition jumping a PB and coming out 5th overall with a jump of 7.06 in a long jump. Our relay team, they did exceptional. And the reason why I say exceptional, that's the first time we have sent a relay team to the Caribbean Games to run the 4x4 mix, and they came out 7th overall. Even though a few teams pulled out, they did run commendably. They did establish a new national record, and they also gained world ranking points. Now, for those who don't know, for you to go to major competitions now, you either have to meet the ultimate qualifying mark, or some competitions you have rankings. So if you don't start sending them out to compete, they will never get a ranking point. So we actually have that as a development pathway so they can start going to competitions to get ranking points to go to bigger competitions. Godisha, she performed on her best, but like I said, she competed commendably. I think Mr. Dorset will also comment on that. And we had Jaden Joseph in the long jump. Like you say, sometimes on the big stage, you have athletes who don't show up. However, he did compete. We expected more from all the athletes because we expected more medals. However, it's a sport. When you go out there, you compete, you win, you lose, but there's never a draw. But one thing I always say, you gain the experience for another competition. And that is what our athletes have shown, that they are ready to compete and fight against the other countries.
So, Lobby, I see you're eager to speak. Go on. The floor is yours now.
Hold on. Very, very eager. I want to say hello to Mr. Dorset. How are you, brother?
Well, are you here, Lobby? Greetings, Mr. Lublack.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm doing my best in what is there.
I know. And Brendan, how are you all doing?
I'm blessed to know, Mr. Lublack.
That's very important to hear the word blessed. Gentlemen, let me just congratulate the young man for winning the javelin. That is our Sebastian, our 6th medal in the 52 years of the Carter Games in the javelin. Lisa Kazemi was the first person who got a javelin for us, a gold medal in the javelin in Jamaica. So I think he is either the 4th or the 3rd, either 5th or 6th. But I know for sure we have had 2 females who have gotten gold medal in the javelin, and about 3 or 4 males who have gotten gold medal in the javelin. Also, Sebastian, we are looking at the games itself, we are the only country who was there without a track. Your athletes compete with a track, and I say so. All right, without a track. Right?
Go ahead.
Yes, without a track. And we must never forget that. You're looking at, this is one of the most successful character games in years. Very, very competitive.
Hold on a minute. You continue. Brendan want to respond to you. That's all. Go ahead, Brendan.
Yeah, I know the question is coming soon enough, so let me just address it.
About the Whitner.
We are one of two.
Hold on. He's going to address what you just said about the thing, and you continue. No problem.
So we are one of two countries without a track. So I just wanted to bring that out there.
Okay, go on, Lobby. Yeah. Go ahead, Lobby.
No, what is the problem?
No, he was not responding. He said that.
What is the other country?
Anguilla.
He said Anguilla hadn't got a truck as well. He said.
Yes, Anguilla, but I'm saying that, Sebastian, we are the only country, I'll say so, all right, with the level of talent. As a person who have been involved in the sport and coached the sport for years, we have had talent we doesn't know in our hands. We have talent. But without this track, which we haven't had, that has been a nightmare for us. I have seen, for example, look, in terms of this year, in terms of how competitive the game, you look at Bahamas, you look at Grenada, you look Antigua, you look at Barbados, Guyana, BVI, look at these islands, all right? Saint Lucia, for example, all right? Dividends with this young sprinter they have there, all right? I'm saying this, Sebastian, for years. And what has happened also, Sebastian, in the heyday, all right, please let me, in the heyday of track and field in Dominica, the schools played a vital role. You had Windsor Park, Grammar School had their ground, and things were sweet as before. This has not, the schools program has dropped considerably. I look at a youth meet we had in the Windsor Park. The crowd was non-existent. It's a result of the schools, already schools. And I'm hoping that, I don't know. I mean, we have lost, look, in terms of, we have to remotivate now. Remotivate a lot of the kids now. They have to be remotivated because it's just a nightmare. There's nowhere in Roseau, actually, literally nowhere in Roseau. You can't continue training in the gardens. It's just madness. It's total madness. The talent is there, all right? And it's good to have the track, all right? It's good to have the track for you to train, the 400-meter track for you to train and get accustomed to it, all right? The talent is there, but we are losing. What I have seen in Dominica right now, a lot of our young men are into what? They're into CO, either drugs and so on. There's nothing, I tell you, it is sad.
What has contributed to that, Low Black? What has contributed to that? What do you think has contributed to that?
I just tell you, the school sports has dropped. There's no good sports day anymore. Where can have a sports day? There's no sports day. Grammar school, for example, look, you in grammar school, Brendan was Sibo was in grammar school. Grammar school had the best sports day. In those days, the best, and a lot of sportsmen emerged. It helped them to move into football, cricket, and so on. Good sportsmen. That thing has gone completely. I mean, it is just sad.
Okay, well, let them respond to what you just said. Both of them, you two guys, gentlemen, you all want to respond?
I'd allow Mr. Dossett to go first. I'll go after.
Godwin, you want to respond?
Well, listening to Mr. Low Black, there's so much I can say, when it comes to track and field. I myself was a football fan. I love football, but when I looked at what was happening in Dominica, when I grew and got the knowledge of what you have to do and all that is necessary to move on in sport, I realized we were wasting our time with many of the sports, and I moved into track and field to help children because I thought it was the right way to go for our young children and for our numbers in Dominica, which is very small. So we have to move, we have to strategize and move in something that can really help us. But I see not enough interest is placed on what is good for us. Not enough interest is placed on what is good for us or what will help our children. And I'm talking about the highest level and in all areas. I can talk about the culture. I can talk about the culture in Dominica for high performance sports. It is not good at all. We have lived a life of multi-talented people, and I believe this is one of our greatest impediments, that we are too talented, we are too multi-talented, and so we are unable to select in what do we really put our effort and where we put our money. You know, what infrastructure should get priority in the construction, in the organization. You know, all of these are things which have to help us, you know. And we every day we call in for a truck, and it is very, very much needed. It is very, very much needed. And when we do get that truck, because I am here because I know it's coming. I cannot tell you when, but I'm waiting for it, you know. But when we do get that truck, there is so much more to go with it for us to be able to move on. You know, we talked about the games there. There were a number of the athletes out there who needed some more work in terms of a psychologist, you know, to deal with their mind and their mind, and to help them get themselves in the correct frame of mind for the competition. We who are coaching have certain level of information, but I do believe it is not enough at no time. And then when we talk about the performance of our children, we go back to Godisha Joseph. Godisha Joseph was afraid, one of the track, because it was very, very slippery. Not the track, but the circle, which was very slippery, more than she have ever met before. And yes, she had a right to, but in her own personality is of a shy nature, docile nature, and to really go in and put in that effort, you don't want anything else worrying you and things like that. So she needed to be consoled in a much better way. You know, we're talking about our health in terms of our athletes. You know, how we deal with them, even right on the track when they need of a massage, when they need of direction from medic sports medicine and so forth. All of these we are not given to them, and so much is necessary for us to move forward. As Mr. Loblack said, I know we have the talent, and because I know we have the talent, while I'm still in track and field, we have more than talent, and we can make the big country look small if we would really give our children what they need to move forward. And when we do that to our children, we are doing that to our country. When we give to our children, we are giving to our country, because they are the ones that are going to bring for us. You know, I often say that we don't strategize. You know, we want everything at the same time, but we cannot win if we don't lose. Okay, we must lose something for us to win. So we have to give up on certain things for where what we like, but it's not bringing enough for us, and go into the area which we believe has the greater possibility of bringing to us. And that would even help us to expand on the number of sports we may play later at a higher level, at a more subsistent level. You know, because what I'm saying, we are trying to be in so many things. At the end of the day, we are not doing any of them good. You know, so it's time we look at it.
Let me ask you a question. You talk about facility, right where you're from, you have the Lio Park. What's happening with that facility?
Well, the Lio Park facility is in a disgraceful state. Very disgraceful.
So no sport is being played there? No sport, no athletics, nothing?
At the moment, nothing is being played there because of the grass and nothing is taking place. Nothing is taking place. We are in a society where some people are more important than some. You understand? I grew up looking at Dominica losing out on greatness because certain athletes, certain sportsmen, cricketers, footballers from different areas were not given the opportunity, even though they were the best set. They were the better talent. They were the talent that could bring to Dominica, and they were not given the opportunity. I get into sport to coach because I was a fat little boy that never used to do nothing.
That's
But I would listen. I would listen to the older people talk about the number of young men who had gone into sports and had done very well. And so I wanted to bring out to Dominica and to the world the talent I see among me, myself. So that's why I gave up at a very young age, 17 years, to do coaching, to help others to go.
I have a question for you.
Hold on, Godwin.
Quickly, yes.
Lobby want to ask you a question.
You said about, I think you had a throw that the circle was slippery.
Yes.
Was it wet?
Not wet, but it is more like you were on tires. You were throwing on tires.
No, but you are aware that when you go to these games, you have a concrete circle. So was there any effort? Because look, when I coach, I ensure that I get somewhere with a concrete I can get you to assist you to throw. So was there any effort to assist the athlete at home? You have to be creative, because this thing, because definitely from grass to the circle, it's a rude awakening. It's going to be slippery. All right.
Well,
So
Ruby, I must tell you that I have tried that. Even where I train at Londonderry, there is a road close to the park. I use it to do training. Okay, but it is not as smooth as it is rough. Is the main road. You know, we go out to other countries in Guadeloupe and Martinique. We have been out there trying to get them in shape and get them accustomed to the surface, to the environment that they have to compete in.
Good throwing shoes.
Yes, that throwing shoe is good. Yes, it is. But if you were there, because other athletes were complaining, and then because of our habit too, while our children are not they going towards high performances, but they are not constantly in the state of mind or training as you're supposed to be. Many times there are things you want to do and they don't reach there, because they stay away or because they have other sports participating in. She's still a school child representing her school in a number of other areas. So you understand that I might
the president want to chime in. The president want to go ahead.
If I may chime in, I mean, Mr. Dorset made a passionate plea as to the plights that our athletes suffer. And I think one of the points I will focus on before I go on the topic of track is the societal culture that challenges the growth and development of not only athletics, but sports. And I have always been saying that we view sport as a hobby and not a game changer, as a profession or something that can elevate our youth. So when you have the limited resources that we do have in Dominica, infrastructure, financial, and whatever resources that you may have, which is limited, and then you have to decide whether you focus primarily on training or you have to focus on travel. Most times, the athletes qualify, you have to get them out to compete. But some of them do go out inadequately prepared for that competition. And like Mr. Dorset said, it's not just about the physical, it's also the mental. Because it is no secret, a lot of the athletes who excel in sports come from impoverished backgrounds. And that is one of the biggest challenges that, hey, sir, I came to training and I did not have a meal to eat. So sometimes coaches like even Godwin Dorset would have to take resources out of his own pocket to assist the athletes. I will tell you straight, the amount of money I've spent on athletes have been, since I became president and even before that, is way above the thousands, and it could be from a $20 to a $10, but you have the athletes. And that is why I would always be so thankful for the persons who came on board to sponsor us for the Carifta Games, such as Central Cooperative Credit Union, the Grand It's not a promo, but
feel free to
the Granby Credit Union, National Bank of Dominica, Lindomat, Jolly's Pharmacy, lovely things. These individuals assisted us to get where we are. And when you look, it cost us over $80,000 to send the team to Carifta. And the government of Dominica came in substantially. Also, the Dominica Olympic Committee, and I must always thank them, because leading up to that Carifta Games, the Olympic Committee also assisted in getting our young athletes to Guadeloupe, Martinique on several occasions to try to qualify, to go for training camps, just to prepare. But at the end of the day, Carifta is not a 2-month preparation or 3 month. We started preparing for Carifta as of yesterday for 2026 because we already developed the draft Carifta standards for next year so that persons would be aware of what they're going to achieve. But then it is a collective approach where we need the resources, yes, but we also need the coaches to come on board. I will say Mr. Dorset is dedicated, even though he said earlier in the year that he finished with it.
You retired so early?
He retired. But what I'm saying is that he's dedicated to it. There are other coaches that are dedicated to the craft. But the resources, it is not, I go to say, it's supposed to come from Mr. Sibasa, it's supposed to come from ABBC, it's supposed to come from all of us. Because the same celebration that we recognize St. Lucia, there were companies in St. Lucia that paid the passages for persons to go to support. The Bahamas Airways, Bahamas Air, provided 3 chartered flights of 175-seater to go to Carifta. And that is for both swimming, athletics, supporters, the Junkuno Band, and ministers of government. You know, every entity or every country that we want to peg against saying, hey, look at the successes, their society comes together to support. And we want to say, okay, that person should support more. That person should support less. But none of us not even giving $1. And like when we sent out the letters, we sent out 21 letters to companies to support. We only got from 5. You understand? And the lowest that I could say was less than $1,000 to assist towards that. But then coming to the track now, and I mean, we had further discussions whilst we were in Trinidad because one of our partners that for the track is World Athletics.
Well, I saw Sebastian Coe was there, the president.
Lord Sebastian Coe was there. You understand? And I can say that there will be clearing of the land for the commencement of the track this year. You understand?
This year, but you don't know when.
This year, before the end of the financial year.
Okay.
You understand?
Which is 2 months, eh?
Yeah,
financial year ends in June 20th. Yeah.
That is 2 months.
Yeah.
And that is a commitment that was given by our partners.
Okay.
You understand? And the government is playing its integral role in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there are certain persons have to understand in negotiations of certain things, there are certain aspects of the project you cannot speak about until everything is finalized. So that is one thing persons must appreciate. However, looking at back, Mr. Lou Black was administrator. Mr. Dorset is administrator, former president. Looking back at all the years or the history of track and field, this is the closest point that we have ever reached to attaining a track, for the commencement of a track. But yes, some persons speak like the current administration is not passionate about the track. You know, if we get that vibe that, hey, we want a track, what are you doing? But everyone were there before.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting that you mentioned that. I was there from 1988 to 1994 as the secretary of the Athletic Association, and the track was a big deal. Mm-hmm. In fact, Godwin goes back to that time. That's how long Godwin has been at it. It's over 30 years. Mm-hmm. Huh? He's been coaching and so on with Westmore Rangers and so on, and qualifying people. And each time we keep saying, well, we are going to get a track. And when we have people like Don and Romain and all these guys doing really well at the world stage, we were convinced we would get a track. It just hasn't happened after all these years.
You know, hold on. Yeah. Godwin and the president mentioned about coaches. And, I was listening to the commentators during the thing. When the St. Lucian girl won the 100 and 200 under 17, they made the comment that she was homegrown. All her training was done in St. Lucia. So the critics might say, here you have in St. Lucia, local coaches were able to bring this outstanding young athlete. And they spoke about the medals that St. Lucia getting and Antigua and Grenada. So the critics might say, but what we're doing here, if local coaches can have developed a talent like that, like this young lady, I'm sure you would have seen her, you were in Trinidad. Yeah. What is happening here?
Yeah, and we speak about homegrown, but sometimes we don't appreciate our history. We also had the homegrown of Lisa Kazimi, like Mr. LeBlanc said. Shani Angol, who won gold medal in javelin whilst in Dominica. We had
Don Williams,
Luan Gabriel, Tyron Benjamin, Tawana Soli. I can name a list of persons who achieved medals. Addison, when he won his first gold medal in Carifta, he was homegrown. But when we look at the other countries as well, Trinidad brought in a few of athletes from overseas who are based in overseas. St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada. All these countries have athletes who are overseas. But you have to understand your capabilities. That if an athlete has plateaued under your guidance. They go out to train. That is naturally. In Dominica, we have that phobia that if Mr. Dorset is the top throws coach in Dominica, and I have a young athlete in, without jeopardizing anybody, in
Whitaker.
Yeah, thank you for that one. Whitaker. And we will not send that athlete to train with Mr. Dorset for 1 week, 1 day a week, or even allow Mr. Dorset to prepare a training program for that athlete, and then he would come in periodically to observe the athlete, because we are afraid to take away that clout that is my athlete. Until we do not get over that, we will continue to have a drain in the talents of our athletes. But we fail to speak on that. You understand? We fail to recognize that. Mr. Low Black was my coach once. Mr. Low Black realized as a high jumper, he no longer could train me. He sent me under the guidance of Joel Hamilton. And the rest is history. That is what we need to do. That is the proactive approach we need to take in Dominica.
But first of all, Brendan, talk about the club. That Olympians, a very versatile club. So
yes.
Joe was talk about that.
Mm-hmm. So if we do, and I am happy that me and Mr. Lublak is actually agreeing on something.
No, we have to agree to disagree,
But what I'm saying, we have a culture here in Dominica that the light should always shine on me. And if it's not shining on me, I will shoot you in your leg. You understand? I'm sorry to use that metaphor.
Yeah, I'm happy that you said early on that you started the planning yesterday.
Yes.
For next Olympic Games.
Yes.
And I always believe in planning and programming, not only for the next Olympic Games, but beyond that. How we develop
the games.
Yeah. And we're looking at the facility, developing the facility.
Yes.
And developing the facility, you don't have to respond immediately, but there are some important areas I would like you to pay attention to. The research in the area you're going to develop the facility, the analysis of the area, the planning, the designs, and the financing.
Yes.
Ensure you cover all these areas are covered.
Yes.
So you don't want to start something somewhere and then to find yourself that is not the proper place
they are covered.
For doing it.
They are
so
covered.
Ensure that those major areas are properly attended to, so you can develop a proper facility to develop your athletes locally. Additionally, the athletes that you have identified order in Dominica, opportunities for them to go to Edward Allen or the schools, we need to explore that too.
Yes.
Okay? Because Mr. Dorset can only do so much. And when he's done with his contribution, as you said, you plateau, you go off to another area where you can develop your capacity. Look at us in Dominica. Look at us in Dominica, where one of our athletes excelled in the Olympics. And we felt so good about that. So if it's 1, 2, 3 that we have that can excel anywhere else, we should be very happy about that.
And just to chime in on that, sorry, Mr. Lubak, just to chime in on that, we have the possibility of sending out 3 athletes this year, 2 for sure, to Edwin Allen because of a relationship we have forged. And whilst in Trinidad, they said they were looking for a female athlete from Dominica. And it is basically the ball is in our court. Discipline and talented, that's the only requirements they need. However, and I will say it again, there are coaches, when you go to them and say, hey, guys, we have an opportunity for one of your athletes to go out there to this school or this school on a scholarship. They would be the negative one. Why you have to send a child Jamaica? Why the child going? Oh, the child can stay 2 more years. And within that 2 more years, what happened? In the culture we're in, the child goes down. Because, like Mr. Dorset said, the high performance mentality, they come training when they want. They have to compete in 7 or 8 other sports in Dominica. So the time they will be focused on one sport, they don't have it. And then when it's too late, the coaches say, boy, I wish I could have sent that child out again. But it's too late. And that's the realities we face.
Yes,
Yes. I just want to come in there. I'm listening to Brendan using the word plateau and so on. In 1985, gentlemen, I went to the Crafter Games in Barbados, our first second in Barbados, with 3 athletes. That is Bruce Phillips, Stephen Eger, and Cedric Harris. We came back with 3 silver medals. All right, and we made all the finals. Eger won the silver in the 15 and second in the 5,000. Bruce got this, he was just edged out in the 400 by the Bahamian. The rest was history. But I will tell you this. I will tell you this, which Brendan knows, that the Olympians Athletic Club, one of the strongest club and the most sport that ever passed in this country.
For sure.
All right, and I can tell you that what made us so great, gentlemen. We had the Windsor Park, and the Windsor Park, we had 2 concrete circles, plus we had a sand pit there with a run up. We had our own gym there. All right, and training was done properly. All we needed at the time was a proper track, and the rest would have been history. If you ask Reds, next time Reds on this program, ask Reds about the OECS games and Dominican's athletes, how we excel at the OECS games. We had some fantastic athletes. Listen to me, as you said about Lucia, because of the track, all right? We haven't got, first of all, going to Jamaica. I want to just song a warning here. A warning to you all. The program in Jamaica is very robust. And any athlete going there, must be prepared. Not just discipline, it's a very robust program. And you have to go up there, first of all, well prepared. Because it's not an easy program.
Okay, I need to ask you. Go ahead,
Mr. Lobak. Just one question, I just, because you have experienced administrator, especially from the Olympians Club, in terms of the circles that existed within the Windsor Park Sports Stadium, the sandpit, that investment was done by whom? The club, right?
Yes. We have the club, and we dig the pit. Yes, and we got it. Yes.
And the reason why I asked that question, I made that statement, is because a lot of individuals, and I'm not saying all, a lot of persons within clubs, they wait for other persons to invest in them. They don't take the initiative to raise their own funds to develop their club and their athletes. So when things are not the way that they want it to be, they have someone to blame, but they don't invest in themselves. They don't invest in their athletes.
Yeah, something that confuses me, the awarding of the Austin Silly Award. The guy who won it is Kamari Kennedy.
Yes.
He goes to the Calabar High School in Jamaica. He won the gold in
17.
Yellow Bee, let me just say.
Sorry for that.
Yeah, he won the gold in 102 and discuss. But you had Shania Douglas, the young lady from Jamaica, won 4 gold medals. And this guy from Bahamas, what's his name? Neely, outstanding athlete. I mean, you watch the guy in the last relay 400 and how he was behind and he came and won that relay. 4 gold medals. So how did they arrive at giving a guy who only wins 2 gold medals the award and 2 people who won 4 gold medals? What is the criteria? How did they arrive at that?
Okay, so I know because based on the fact that I'm on the NACA Council, we are the ones who set the guidelines as to who awards the Austin Silly. So we also had Michelle Smith, and I can tell you Michelle Smith because she was also on the top 5 to receive the award. She won a rare double, 400-meter hurdles, and the 800 meters. But I forgot his. He broke 2 games record.
Nearly the one from Bahamas.
No, the Jamaican.
Kennedy. Yeah, he goes to Calabar High School, Jamaica. Right.
He broke the games record in the shot put and the discus, which were long-standing records as well. So that gives precedence over any other performance.
Well, somebody 4.
Yes, record.
Yep.
He broke. We have to recognize he broke 2 records. He broke 2 games records.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so he broke 2 games record. So that took precedence over 4 medals.
Oh.
Yep.
So that's what we have. That was the deciding factor. Him breaking 2 records. He threw 18 plus in the boys under 17 short put and 60-meter plus in the discus. So based on that, he got the award.
Yeah, because I was wondering why 2 people who got 4 gold medals and
Yes, Sibo, just with the record in the discus, in any single one of them, would have given him the prize, the first place. You understand? Because what they're looking up there is not the number of events you medal, you get gold medal. It's the quality of performance. That single performance which stands out as the best among all the other performances individually. So it is not about the number of gold medals you get. but rather the quality of the performance.
Because last year,
but when you look at these two people, let's be fair. You look at Neely, man, that guy, and the Douglas goal. These were outstanding people.
They were.
They were outstanding.
We're not saying, but we're saying based on the quality of the performance.
Guy, we have a caller left probably for you all. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening, caller.
Hello. The caller get cold feet, man. Caller's gone. Yeah. Let's wind up here because
Addison James got gold as well in the pen release.
Yes. So Addison got gold medal today in the pen
you
release.
serious?
65-98 on his first
It's
throw.
a pity we couldn't get him on. Yeah, he was competing today.
And the thing is, when I spoke to his coach earlier on, Addison is jet lagged. So he didn't do anything but just rest yesterday.
Can imagine.
And in his first throw, he threw in a field of 18 from persons from Jamaica, Bahamas, St. Kitts, and several schools in the US. Whilst there, some good news. Whilst there was colleges, universities who, offered scholarships for both Addison and Kerrell.
Wow.
But the thing is now, based on their age, they will not be going there, but at least we have options on the table for each of them.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hold on, we have a caller. Let's call again. Good evening. Hello. Wow, we're having problems. Good evening, caller. No, okay.
Time is of essence here. We wish you could have a discussion with you all guys for the full 2 hours because there are a lot of important areas we would like to discuss with you. But the last area I want to raise with you is the area of sports tourism. Did you ever have an opportunity to talk to the press in Trinidad to promote Dominica?
Yeah, anywhere I go, I get the opportunity to speak to the press. So we had a press conference while we were there, and I got the opportunity to speak. That was with Lord Sebastian Coe. And most persons, the first thing they bring up now because it's Thea Lafont. You understand? So with that, you tie in about Dominica and what Dominica is doing, in the climate resilience, its sustainability. So you get opportunity to speak about that. And anytime I start, I come from the nature aisle of the world. And then persons are asking, where is that? And then you go on with the conversation. So we had opportunity to speak to various.
Yeah, we have a couple callers quickly. Let's take them. Good evening.
Well,
Yes.
I love in Dominican County, the sports stadium here, they could have track and field and all these different mixed in because Windsor Park Sports Stadium under the United Workers Party, they were going to have that kind of facility, but they didn't want it to settle for the less instead of the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Next caller. Yeah. Good evening. Good evening.
All right, let's try.
Hello. Good evening.
Hello, Sibo.
Yes, sweetheart.
The one thing I want to say,
Go
I want to
ahead.
congratulate the young man, Addison James, who won, and also the coach and so on.
Mhm.
But I noticed something. I listened the Barbados Prime Minister congratulated all her people who won. She called their names,
Mhm.
and spoke about it. I noticed in Dominica press conference they sent out.
Mhm. A press release, you mean? A press release?
A press release, a
Yeah.
press release. They
Mhm.
just sent a press release congratulating. But the Bajan Prime Minister come out and she named them and congratulated. To me, that make a little difference,
Well, I
Instead
agree
of
with you.
just sending out a press.
Agree. Anyway, gentlemen, let's wind up. So let's wind up now. Your final comments?
Yeah, so this is not our last competition for the year. We have several competitions coming up from Pan Am Juniors, World Championships going to be held this year. We have NACAC. So all we ask for, all we plead for is the support for the athletes. It is not for an association, it's for the athletes, for them, because we all get that pride when we win medals on the international and regional scene. So just give the athletes support. Even if it's a t-shirt you can do, even if it's a sneakers, but just support them.
Godwin, your final comments?
Well, I am pleased that I get the opportunity to speak here. And for me, there's a lot more I would love to say, and I wish I would be given the opportunity to speak. Sibo, I wish sometime you would talk to me, because most of the time I come on your show, and you just be running me, right from the start.
If you know about radio, Godwin, you go across
You just be running me.
No, we can't. We go
But I wish someday, well, let me just finish now. I wish someday you would try to tap in. You would try to tap in the knowledge where sport is concerned that I can bring and can help to push certain things in Dominica. because we are doing too many wrong things and we are hurting ourselves rather than helping to build our people.
What I'll do, I'll
Thank
give
you.
you notice now. We'll invite you
Thank
to
you
come
very
to
much.
the studio one of these days and spend the entire. Will you be able to do that?
Final. Simmons is coming
No, hold on,
final.
Lobby. Let me ask him the question. Will you be able to come in studio and join us and spend the
Well,
program?
yes, give me good notice.
All right, I'll
Early
give you
notice.
notice, okay? So,
Yeah.
Lobby,
You,
we have to
what
move on
is
now.
his name? The
Yeah,
Thompson
last
Pumpkin. No,
one,
I don't back
Sebastian.
down.
All I want to
Lobby,
say
we
is
cannot
this.
take a last comment. We have other people to
I
talk
just
about.
want I want that the Layo Pack can give an assistance because they have produced a lot of athletes over there when it started. I like them to
Well, Rayo
that
Park is where at 8 years when Addison started, that is where he started. That is where he was training when he won his first silver medal.
Okay, thank you very
Yeah.
much. Thank you, guys. It was nice, and anytime again, Mr. William, you're always willing to come and join us, and we're happy for that. Godwin, as you shall give you notice where you can come and join us and spend an entire program to talk about whatever you want to speak about. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
So key messages you can
Yes, all right. Yeah,
order all your chicken parts, wholesale, and even enjoy retail. It's at AC Shillingford. All chicken parts available that you can afford. Fresh breast. And you know breast is best. Shillingford wings have muscle. After you eat it, you can fly. As for Shillingford chicken drumsticks, even swinging stars just order drumsticks from Shillingford. And for those of you who love Risapul, AC Shillingford keeps your belly full. Buy your chicken wholesale at AC Shillingford. From wings to thighs to drums to breasts to backs to necks. It's available. It's always available and it's affordable. Plus, you've got pork feet, ham and turkey, bull foot, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, all those right seasonings to make your kitchen keep on ticking. Buy your wholesale chicken at AC Shillingford. When you think of chicken, think of AC Shillingford. Always fresh.
When you want the best, what you do? Shop at SDA. Better than the rest. Go shop at SDA. And the open well. Shop at SDA. You get more for life. Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. Yeah. Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. What is that? Shop at SDA. Yes, family, customer friendly. With free locations, it's so convenient. And our prices. Madam, that's where you belong. Oh, tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at SDA. Tell your son and your daughter, shop at SDA. And the nan and cousin friend, open power, all of them. Open neighbor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side. What? Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. Check us out at Pottersville, High Street, and downtown Rose. Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till you flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season. Insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
Yes, we are back and we are joined by two St. Lucian coaches who are currently in Dominica. I think today was the last day. They were conducting a swimming course here in Dominica. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Are you hearing us? Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. Can you hear us?
Hello. We lost them. Yeah, there was this Let's know. Try to get him again.
All right, we are going to be talking to the two coaches, the two swimming coaches. We seem to have lost them.
Okay, we'll call it very short.
Temporarily, but you can speak for them. Just put in. Yeah.
Good evening. Hello. Good evening. Yes, Woody, you hearing us? Right. You want to put them on they can set their names.
Okay.
Yeah. Good evening.
Okay, they're coming on.
Right.
Yes.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Can you state your name, please?
Hello?
Yeah, can you state your name? Tell us your name.
Yasmin Tyson.
Right. You're one of the swimming coaches from St. Lucia, right?
Yes, I am the coordinator of the group.
Right.
And we're with Hype Swim Camp from St. Lucia.
Right. So tell us, what mission were you all in Dominica while you were here for the last week?
Okay, our mission was to get Dominica swimming again. Okay.
Mhm.
We met through the Dominica Amateur Swimming Association in collaboration with the Dominica Olympic Committee. We had a group of 31 registered swimmers, and out of that, 24 swimmers were consistent. And we went through the paces of technique and building their aerobic endurance for the week. We went from learn to swim. We had swimmers aged, the youngest being 5 years and the eldest being, I think, 21. And we took those swimmers through their paces. I specialized with the learn to swim. Coach Tarek Edwards specialized with the competitive swimmers, and Coach Ron Isaac specialized with the intermediate kids. We used the Soufriere Beach, and we had the good fortune of using a pool on the last day, which gave the swimmers the opportunity to experience a different aquatic environment and showed the need for a more consistent program, more days of swimming for the week. And it was an awesome experience.
Were you impressed with what you saw?
Yes, I was very impressed with what I saw. The coaches you have on island who have been working with the swimmers, we saw what their focus was, and I was particularly impressed with the commitment from the parents. For the parents, if they missed a day, they came and they did 2 sessions the next day, and they sat there and they waited and they watched. So we are hoping that that passion continues, because with any sport, there should be a level of commitment from the parents. And the kids were very enthusiastic. They were eager to learn, and they were all coachable. And that is key to any sporting program.
Were you able to do any work on building up the mental capacity of the swimmers?
Okay, that we did with the older group, the more competitive group. We presented them with challenge sets. We went from swimming 3,000 meters, we brought them up to 3,400 meters, and they understood the level of determination that it took, and not being able to quit. We pushed them through those paces, and we attempted to build their resistance as well as their attitude towards training. So, and we did our briefing sessions with them before we swam, and our debriefing sessions with them after they came out of the water, so that they understood what they were doing and why they were doing it and why it had to be done that way. We had 1 or 2 swimmers break down, and then we explained to them and we put them through their paces, did breathing exercises with them so that they can get back on track.
Will there be a follow-up with that? I mean, okay, you had 1 week. Will you be coming back at some point?
Well, actually, we're in that meeting right now with the president of DASA as well as the coaches, Jason Robin, Lily Walsh. We are in conversation with them right now with that, and we have committed our program to continue to assist the Dominica Amateur Swimming Association in developing a solid program for their swimmers and coaches. So we will be working in collaboration with the coaches and the president in ensuring that there's continuity and there's some level of sustainability for the program. I would like to make special mention of Father Cuffy, who came on board and has offered the Swimming Association the use of their pool, and that would speak volumes for the development of the program in Dominica.
Is there any chance that this swimmers can come to St. Lucia at some point? Obviously, maybe you all have better facilities up there where they can help develop the craft in better?
Yes, that is on the table for discussion. We have discussed it, we have looked at it, and yes, there is a definite possibility that they will be coming to St. Lucia.
Who sponsored your technical intervention in Dominica?
Okay, we have to give special kudos to the Dominica Olympic Committee. They were the ones on board, and Soufriere Outdoor Center, because we are based in Soufriere, and they have helped tremendously. We saw one or two persons from the community come on board, but definitely special mention and gratitude goes out to the Dominica Olympic Committee.
Right. So anyway, we just want to say thanks. It's nice that you could join us. And I want to say thanks to Mr. Woody Lawrence. When I spoke to him this morning, although it was at short notice, he was always willing to have this interview. So thank you very much. I hope you will come back at some point and help us develop our swimmers in Dominica. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, and you're welcome. And thank you to Dominica. I love the island.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Right. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, well, swimming is something that has suffered in Dominica, and I just wish they could help get a pool somewhere, a swimming pool somewhere where our swimmers can help develop their craft, guys.
Yeah, well, it's good to hear that they actually have a pool now. They were offered one by Father Coffee, so that is good. At least they do have a pool that they can work from.
Yes, it's nice. I mean,
Dr. Williams used to have a very good pool, a sizable pool. That's the dentist, Dr. Williams, in the Castle Comfort area. But it's not functional at this point in time.
Well, his wife was the president at some point, eh? The swimming,
Yes,
she was the
yes,
president at some point. The swimming, because I mean, it really like how it's primitive, really, that people should be training in the sea in 2025. You need a proper pool where the swimmers can really develop their craft. You don't want people in the sea, rough seas, and because in fact, I heard one of the swimmers was speaking, and he said the current was so tough swimming with the waves, and so it can be tough, and they were tired. So you really need proper facilities for people to, at all levels, guys. I mean, we're not struggling big time here. I mean,
we now have a sports council, and this should be one of the areas that the sports council should be focusing on. What plans and program that they have for each type of sport in Dominica, and how we can help guys develop and get some success stories.
But gentlemen, Sebastian, every time I hear about the sports council, I have to laugh. Definitely have to laugh. The Canada Sports Division is here. I just have to laugh. First of all, Sebastian, what happened to the swimming? You just had a while ago. You had the athletics that have been suffering for years. All right, so that's the problem we have. I mean, Dr. Alport, I mean, over the years, they have tried their very best. Really
okay, let's switch now. We have Liam on the line. I think the Cricket Association has their commission started this weekend, so we want to have him tell us what's happening. Well, he's going to tell us. Good night, Liam. Good night.
Yeah, good night, everybody.
Yeah, well, everybody's here. Yeah, you all start a 2-day competition. I think this weekend it starts?
Yes, it starts on Saturday.
So, tell listeners, how many teams are taking part in that competition?
6 teams will be taking part this year.
Namely, The team.
And Granby. I don't remember some of the
sponsors. I mean,
part of the name, but the Granby, Maho, Summit, Kalinago Blasters, Tremors, Najiko Northern Stars, and there's one other.
So that's going to be Red Ball Cricket, right?
Yeah, Red Ball. Yes.
And you'll have a sponsor.
1 p.m. on Saturday. NCCU is the sponsor of the league, so it's the NCCU Premier League.
Well, why are you all starting at 1 o'clock on Saturday? Because I know in days gone by, when I played cricket, even when you played, it was always 10 to 6 Saturday and 10 to 6 Sunday. What is happening? Why are you all starting at 1 o'clock on Saturday?
The time difference this time, well, in the past 2 years, because some people are having difficulty getting time off from work, but it doesn't affect the amount of game time that is being played. It's only 5 overs less than if you were playing from 10 to 6 on a Saturday. So the game starts at 9:50 on Sunday and you play 105 overs. So it's basically almost the same amount of overs that you will play if you were playing a 2-day format. So we thought that was the best mode to attack the issue of persons not being allowed time off from work. So we're not really losing anything in that sense.
Where are you going to be playing that competition?
The Premier League would take place across 4 venues: the stadium, Geneva in Granby, Benjamin's Park in Portsmouth, and the Botanical Gardens will come in at the latter part of the competition.
So how many matches this weekend?
Every weekend will be everybody will be playing. So there will be 3 matches every weekend at various venues. So there will be cricket. Next weekend there will be no cricket next weekend due to the
holiday
activities the holiday. So we start this week. There's a week off next week, and then we go straight into the next 4 weekends with matches.
You know, umpiring has always been a problem in Dominica from even when I was in Cricket Association, even when I played as well. Are there sufficient umpires now? Because obviously you're looking at 6 umpires every weekend. Do you all have enough umpires to umpire all these games at the same time?
Well, there are enough umpires in terms of making themselves available. That is what we have to ensure that happens. We had a meeting with the Umpires Association yesterday, and they didn't indicate that they had any issues in terms of filling the roster, but there are enough umpires. That is one thing that we know for a fact. It's just that on in terms of availability basis, they, for whatever reason, sometimes they have issues. But so far, so good. As I said, we had a meeting with the umpires, and it's all systems go as we speak for now.
Dominica just won the under 19 competition. Are all the players available to take part in that local league?
Well, I mean, everybody on Island is available. As to if they're going to play, that is a personal choice. But they are available. I expect that most of the players will be playing. So I mean that question is kind of tough to answer on their behalf. But from our point of view, we would like and expect that they will be playing.
I think Carvin is around. Will he be suiting up for any one of the teams?
That I'm not too sure. Again, it's his personal choice. I'm not too sure if he will play or if he, because at the end of the day, Carvin is basically the property of Cricket West Indies. So he's still it's his choice, but then he'd have to discuss with his people above him, whichever competition he's playing, and get the permission before. So I'm not too sure. I haven't spoken to him, but I'm not too sure if he's going to be playing. As I said, if they are given the clearance, we expect them to be participating in the league.
So that will be a round robin competition, right?
Sorry?
That will be a round robin competition. This competition that starts this weekend.
Yes.
So it should go until about what? June or so?
Yeah, it's this week in June, and then by that time we should be getting ready to start the intermediate league. So for the next couple of months, we have a lot of cricket on the horizon, basically coming back to back. So so when the Premier League is over, we have the intermediate, which may run to the back end of the Premier League. I mean, we're still discussing if we should run them simultaneously and have the intermediate start to the back end of the Premier League. That's based on availability of grounds and all the different factors. But If not immediately after at the conclusion of the Premier League, then we will have the Intermediate League, which is white ball and 1 and 40 overs commencing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just a last question here. We had 5 players on the senior Windward Islands team, which was very good because our local program has not been where we want it to be. How many players are on the under-19 team from Dominica on the Windward team?
We're not hearing you. You're breaking up. Liam, we're not hearing you. We're not, Liam, your phone, we're not hearing you at all. Hello?
Okay.
Well, okay. All right, thanks. We seem to have run into some problem. Yeah. What I know, 7 guys on the team, 7 on the pick a squad of 50, how many people? 20. So I think there's 7 Dominicans in that squad of 20. The tournament is in St. Vincent in end of June, the West Indies tournament.
West Indies tournament.
Yeah, it's in St. Vincent. Okay. In fact, what I do not understand, the last 5 years, the tournament has been the same country. I mean, what I would expect, the guys to play in different areas so they can have developed. You can't have in the same country for the past 5 years. The West Indies on the 19th tournament. Same country. Back in St. Vincent again this year in June.
Remember, Reds made a very important observation. St. Kitts is doing something to attract all cricket of the West Indies.
Well, the former president was from St. Kitts.
The ladies. St. Kitts has a way of attracting the cricket. Maybe St. Vincent has that same way too.
Well, the president is from St. Vincent. You don't forget. And the former president was from St. Kitts. The current president is
we have to find a way of bringing those competitions to Dominica. We definitely have to find a way.
Well, to do that, you have to develop your field. What I know, to host an under-19 tournament, you need at least 5 fields.
And we really have 3.
We have Grand Bay, the Windsor Park, and Portsmouth. The Gardens really not in top shape to have, but you need at least 5 fields. But I mean, St. Kitts, I know, have many fields. St. Vincent has them, Grenada, but you need, and enough emphasis is not being placed on our sports in Dominica. That is the problem.
That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. With no emphasis. I mean, we talk about the track. We were told August last year, by this time next year, the comment is, by this time next year, which is August this year, we'll have a track. We were said that. We were told that. Up to now, that's started.
You know, it's very interesting the way we are dealing with this track issue in Dominica. We hear it's coming, but I think it was Barbados that announced that they were going to build a track. They're going to start this year, and you'll have a track. They were so definite in terms of when they're going to start and when it's going to be finished. But we keep hearing about this track that's coming to Dominica. Nobody can tell us how long it will take to build.
Exactly. Or the phases, what phase? Phase 1 will be what? Phase 2 will be what? In fact, we heard about the Lights in Winter Park a few weeks ago, about the lottery. I never knew the lottery had all that money to give $14 million to put on the lights. Nobody said if it was put to tender. Nobody has told us if it was put to tender to say, okay, well, different people had to apply. You just hear
14 million.
14 million.
So it went from 2.5 to 4.
No, it was that's on the record. It was said that. In fact, it was said that there was a meeting with the lottery people, the board. They agreed $14 million. Up to now, we do not know if it was put to tender. So you could have 5 different, and you take the best person. Nobody knows how they arrive at $14 million now. Nobody knows that. We don't know. There was a first guy they made a big splash when he was given the guy. Nobody knows where he is. What has happened? In fact, what I understood, the money that was spent before, they have to scrap it and start afresh again.
What
so, go ahead, Lobby.
Just now you said they have to scrap it?
Yes, because they're not going to use it because apparently what they use wasn't good. So 14 million, that's the figure that was given. These are not my words, by the way. It was given that the lottery will sponsor it. 14 million, and that figure came after we heard about the economic impact from the World Cup on the Caribbean, where we had St. Lucia 100-something million, Barbados 400-something million, Dominica, Carcará. Yes, Lobby.
Sebastian.
Yes, sir.
Well, listen to me. I don't know, you'll never question Brendan on that, you know. First of all, I've listened to the other islands when they were building their track. There was no secrecy. They came from the question Lander put to him A, B, D, and C, which you have. These islands, they give it out from the beginning. All you're hearing about, they're going to clear it. They're going to clear. You have, I mean, there's no secrecy. There's
Hold
no
on, we have a
yeah.
caller. Hold on, we have a caller. Good evening. Yes, sir.
I want to get your attention. Anyone has heard that document in match last month?
We're not hearing you. What did you say?
About match.
Anyone has heard that document with John Boxer getting in match, which match here?
Oh, Joe Foreman died in late match. Yes.
We know that. Yeah, man. Yeah, we know that. We know that. Yeah, George Foreman. In fact, you never forgot that Muhammad Ali fight. You remember that?
The rumble in the jungle.
In the jungle, man. George Foreman. That was something else. Yeah. Yeah, we heard that. We spoke. I think we spoke about it on the program. We did mention it.
But Sibo.
Yeah, Moko. Thanks. Yes, Lobby.
Yeah, just going back on the athletic, Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I'm just listening. I'm telling you, I've been around. And the Lion Park, when it started, Sebastian, we utilized that park a great deal. We used to have meets there, meets.
I remember.
Right? We used to have the northeastern meet. We used to organize, go up there, And since after this storm that passed, all right, the facility got damaged and nothing hasn't been done. All right. So as I said, something must be done. Something has to be done, because the talent had been there lingering. The talent, you just cannot afford. You heard St. Lucia, they developed Emmanuel in St. Lucia.
Yeah, homegrown. Yeah.
Right. Look, I develop a lot of athletes in Dominica. A lot of golf athletes, both track athletes, train athletes. You can ask the athletes. All right. A lot of them in Dominica. All right, but we had the Windsor Park. All right, and what we did in the Windsor Park, we were able to produce. We got a lot of medals at the Character Games. All right, we medaled a lot of the Character Games. Most of the medals, my club, Olympians Club, we got most of the medals at the Character Games. We got a lot of medals. We produced a lot of top athletes.
Yeah, and also the role of the schools, man. You cannot overemphasize that.
I mean,
the development of sports within the schools.
Well, BJ, man, BJ. But sports in the schools was big, and I have a problem now where you just hear you hear school playing and hear coach so and so. They're taking anybody and putting as a coach of a team in a school. Even that has to be looked at. You don't just put anybody. Put people can do the job. Don't just say we have a school and we just say, okay, let's take so and so and put him as a sports teacher. All those things are wrong. Honestly, I don't think a better effort must be made in Dominica for sports to develop, and we're not seeing that. I'm being honest, we're not seeing that. Nothing. The caller made the point that the Prime Minister of Barbados came out and spoke highly about the athletes that came from Carifta. We just heard a press release, and she made the point that Barbados Prime Minister came out, and we see what happened in Jamaica. In fact, the girl, the Emmanuel girl, there was a motorcade for her to a village when she came from Trinidad, from the Carifta Games. So we have another caller. Let's take the caller.
Hold on. Hosting next year.
Good evening. Yes.
Coach is supposed to be practical.
I agree.
Yes, it's supposed to be practical. Otherwise, you're missing something.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, thank you, Mo. Well, Lobby, you made the point. In fact, next year was supposed to have been Guyana. But we don't know what has happened. And Grenada again is going to get the Caribbean again next year. They had it last year. They're having it next year.
Well, maybe when our track finish, we'll have the Caribbean Games 2026.
No, Sibo, when you host, you get in financial help. They have the in terms of hosting, you need the hotel capacity. Very, very.
Well, I know
important.
that. I was not going to come to that. Do we have that?
All right, you have that,
We have stone and concrete, Dr. Fonte. That's all we have. The Morocco Hotel, how long is it going now? 20 years? And it has been open yet. So to say we have hotel.
We have energy, we have the one down.
Yeah, well, you don't see stone and concrete and stuff.
No, but Sibo, listen, Sibo, just now. You're talking about hosting. When you say host, to be able to sit down on the grass, you need to have pavilion.
I don't know. All I'm saying. What I'm saying, well, if you have to have hotel room and all those kind of thing. We have buildings here, we have stone and concrete and this kind of thing. By the way, guys, tomorrow the breakout league starts tomorrow. They call it the West Indies Cricket Board has the breakout league. It's a T20 competition where nobody over 30 years can play. So tomorrow, Windward's plays Guyana at 2:00.
Anybody from Dominica on the
Ali is the Windward's captain.
Ali?
Yeah, Ali is the captain.
So what's not there?
Hodge is over 30. Kevin is 32, he can't play. You have to be under 30.
What Tyson? Tyson's over 30.
Tyson is not a...
In his
Tyson
20s.
is
26.
I'm not sure. I haven't, but I know Ali is the captain for sure. And the Windward's play at 2:00 tomorrow. It's on TV, and then at 7:00 tomorrow is Trinidad plays Barbados. All the matches are in Toruba, the Brian Lara Stadium. It's going to go on for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, yeah. So there's going to be cricket almost every day. So it's a T20, they call it the Breakout League. And it's taking place in Trinidad. It starts tomorrow afternoon at 2:00. Windward's play first against the Guyana. In fact, I see the Windward's name is Windward's Inferno. I don't know how they arrived at that name.
Well, we have volcanoes. They are Inferno.
Well,
Windward Islands, yeah.
Yeah, playing tomorrow at 2:00.
Against Guyana.
Right, correct, yeah.
That's a serious indictment for Dominica to only have one player on any Windward Islands team.
Because the other guys they're under 30.
Developing our sports in Dominica.
Yeah,
Who lobbying for us, Landa? Who lobbying for us?
Well, the players have to lobby for themselves too,
How?
Perform. If you have to perform, you don't get selected. You have to perform.
Sibo, I understood that this captain, the Jamaican Powell, it was said that he was dropped because he wasn't scoring runs.
Well, boy, we don't know. The West Indies board have given no reason why they have replaced him. So
because we are in serious problem.
Well, we'll soon find out. The team, the players that are selected will know by now for sure. From my experience, what I know, one of the selected, you have to give them notice, at least 3 weeks notice, so they can sign contracts. And because the team leaves on the 13th of May for England. They leave on May because they go to England and Ireland to play T20s and 50 overs. And then when they come back, end of June, July, then you have the free test match against Australia. So the players that are selected, obviously, they know the team leaves soon for England. Dr. Fountain, before we close, I tried to get the PRO of the DFA, couldn't find it, so somebody called and said, well, your team is doing well, you must tell people what's happening. Your team.
Oh, yes, in fact,
Southeast,
we had a very good victory, last week and during the week there, defeating the Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers, defeated by Southeast 3 goals to 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very interesting the state of the league. In fact, I can probably read to our listeners, Sibo,
Go ahead, tell the listeners. Yeah.
The standings now of the
after how many games?
Since after 5 games. After 5 games, we can indicate who the winners are, who so far is ahead. So at the top of the league with 13 points, you have the Dubla FC. They've played 5 games, they've won 4, and they've drawn 1. So they're the only undefeated team right now with 13 points, followed by Middleham United, having won 3 out of their 5, 1 loss, 1 win at 10 points. They're tied with Portsmouth Bombers FC. 5 games, they've won 3, drawn 1, lost 1, also 10 points. And you also have Maho Soka Strikers, also on 10 points. Same record, 5 games, won 3, drew 1, lost 1. And then they're followed by We United with 5 games, having won 3, lost 2. They had 9 points, followed by Sajiko Southeast, that's my club there, with 5 games. They've won 2, they've drawn 2, and they've lost 1, 8 points. Then you have Harlem United in 5 points, having won only 1 game. DSFC having won only 1 out of the 5 games at 3 points. Point Michelle FC at 3 points. And you have East Central FC having 0 points after 5 games. They've not won a match.
Okay, right. So, and then the matches this weekend, obviously.
Yeah, matches this weekend. The games continue this weekend. In fact, Southeast is playing again this weekend at the Windsor Park, not Windsor Park, but the Stock Farm Stadium there. the game is happening there, and we could get the fixtures for you. But anyway, football is continuing, and it is being streamed live as well. So you can check with the Football Association website or the Facebook page, and you can get the live games. They're streaming all of the games live. So that's a very good addition this year. You'll be able to see the games live as they take place. All the games have been covered, and that is very good for the state of the football.
Well, the person who texted, thank you very much. The person, by the way, Ronald, Kyron Phillip, I forgot he's on the team as well. From Dominica, Kyron Phillips on the Winners team.
Kyron Phillip.
He's from Orango. He plays for. He's an all-rounder. He's an all-rounder. He's an all-rounder. Kind of young guy. Yeah, he plays. So he'll be on the Winners team tomorrow. Like I said, the match starts at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So
for that league.
Say again?
What's the objective?
The objective, they say, try to get the next, group of West Indies players. That's why they specifically say no international players not be allowed to play in that. People above 30 can't play in that league. That's what they said. They put certain conditions.
Do you find that making sense?
Well, whether I think so doesn't really matter. That's what they have come up with. So it starts tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So the winner was the playing guy.
Interestingly, basketball has started in Dominica. They started last night. The league is going on, a knockout league. And I understand that sometime next month, there's going to be an international competition in Dominica. Team from Africa, team from Martinique, Guadeloupe, Dominica. I'm not too sure about St. Lucia. So maybe we'll get Mr. Robinson at a later date to brief us on what's happening.
And the NBA playoffs are full now. Just started the games tonight. There are some interesting games. I think Denver plays tonight against the Clippers. That's a good game. So playoffs are almost every night. Lakers playing tomorrow night against Minnesota, game 3. So a lot of sports all around the place, guys.
Champions League.
Champions League next week. Yeah. You have a big game, Arsenal against, that's on Tuesday next week, Arsenal against PSG. Next Tuesday.
And then on Wednesday, Barcelona plays Inter.
Yes, so we have games coming. And then the Europa League next Thursday, you have Manchester United playing a semi-final against, I think it's which team they're playing? I can't remember right now.
So basically, that is the finals, and I see a finals between Arsenal and Barcelona.
Liverpool could win the Premier League this weekend. This weekend, they need to either draw or win. If they draw, they will win the Premier League, and I think they will equal with Manchester United on 20 titles each. Yeah. So this weekend, so a lot of sports to look forward to. As I said, the NBA playoff. You have local cricket starting Saturday afternoon, red ball cricket. So a lot of sports to look for.
Okay, Sibo, well, just quickly, we have the schedule of the football for this weekend.
Yeah, go on.
Harlem United will play against Dublin FC. That should be a good one. Mm-hmm. Harlem against Dublin. Mm-hmm. That's happening on Friday. That's tomorrow. That's happening in Portsmouth at the Benjamin Park. Then on Saturday, you have Mahu FC playing against East Central. That game starts at 4 p.m. at the center it's called the DFA Technical Center. That's at Stock Farm. And also at 6 o'clock that same day, Saturday, Southeast FC comes up against Point Michel. And on Sunday, Portsmouth Bombers FC comes up against DSFC. And that is at the Benjamin Park. And that's at 6:30 p.m. And also at the same time, 6:30 p.m. on Sunday, Middleham FC comes up against We United, and that's taking place at the Stock Farm. So lots of football this weekend. Go out and support Dominica football, support the young men as they show their craft out there.
Okay, so on that note, we want to say good night to everybody. We'll be back next week on behalf of Emmanuel Oblack, Dr. Fountain, Ronald Landa. We want to say good night, everybody. We'll be back.
Good night and stay safe, gentlemen.
Yes, good night.
Yeah.